You have probably heard the sentence, correlation does not imply causation, or another variation of the same sentence. Correlation is not causation. Well, first of all, what do they mean? What does correlation and causation means? I'm not going to go too deep into statistical terms. Correlation simply means when things are related to each other. That is, if you eat food, your caloric intake will go up. Your caloric intake in that case is related to consumption of food, and that will be positive correlation. If you run outside for a while, you will burn calorie. Running will increase the burning of calorie. That is also positive correlation. But if you're trying to measure correlation between food consumption and hunger, that would be a negative correlation. The more you eat, the less hungry you will feel. You have two variables, and if their forward movement is related to each other, then you will have a correlation. And causation is simply one thing causing another thing. The examples I provided right now are examples of causations as well. Food intake will decrease your hunger, and food consumption also equals more calorie consumption. It will definitely depend on what food you are consuming, and running will mean burning calorie, but your running speed will matter for how much calories you're burning. Alright, correlation and causation, not related to each other. It can be related, but not all the time. I just mentioned the examples where correlation and causations are related to each other. And a lot of the times, you'll see news articles that will cite a study that shows the correlation between two factors, implying that there is a causation between two of them. But correlation does not imply causation. And most people will assume that there is a causation anyway. It is going to make sense a little bit, and you might think that, well, it has to be true. But not always is the case. And Khan Academy has an excellent video where he goes on in details about the correlation between eating breakfast and teen obesity. I will link that one in the description section. You can check that out if you want to. After watching this video, of course, all of that sounds good, right? But there can be correlations between absurd things, and you will have to understand that one is not causing the other. For example, revenue generated by arcades and the number of computer science doctorates in US. Seems pretty correlated, right? When one goes up, the other also goes up, and in 2009, both of them went down. Another example. Guess what? The number of films Nicolas Cage has appeared in is also correlated with the number of drownings by falling into a pool. What do you say to that? Well, obviously there is no causation in here. Or is there? No, of course not. This website also has a lot of other examples as well. You can check them out if you want to. It was compiled by Tyler Vegan. The link to that website will be in the description section as well. Alright, sometimes two different variables seem like one is causing the other, but both of them can be related to a third variable that is somehow the main culprit behind both of them. For example, let's say that you have collected the data on how you are performing in your exams and how many glasses of water you are consuming. And after a while, you may find out that the increased consumption of water is somehow correlated with a good grade. So, what are you going to do? Are you going to start telling your friends to drink more water before exams to get better grades? It might not work for everybody. You have to do a proper research and find out what other variables are there that can contribute to consumption of water and better grades. Maybe the times you have studied more, you drank more water. You were probably staying up late, studying, and drinking water. Studying led to your good grades, not water. I did not choose coffee intentionally. So, sometimes a third variable can influence both of the variables you are seeing the correlation in. Hopefully, that was enough for understanding the correlation does not imply causation. You can like, share, subscribe, and all other things. You can also support me directly on Patreon if you want to support me directly on this channel. If you have any questions, you can ask below. I might answer it below, or I might make a separate community post answering your question. Alright, now, small bonus. Nobel Prize 1908 Chemistry. The prize went to Ernest Rutherford. You might have heard his name. Probably. He was awarded this prize for two things. One, he found out that one element can actually disintegrate and transform into another element. The time he figured it out, it was a revolutionary theory. It is actually fascinating to think about how far we have come. He also did some research on radioactive substances that I'm not going to elaborate on here. And this is the official end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're still watching, I hope you have learned something new today. And it is time for the end of the video reminder to take care of yourself. Alright? Goodbye for now.